be honest with me here. When was the last time you actually felt calm in your body and in your head? This video, you'll discover how to exchange your stressful behavior for relaxed behavior from the inside out. And we're going to do it by changing the way you look at yourself. This is the most effective way of changing behavior. Honestly, it's the fun way too. Why? Because you will get really specific on the type of person you want to be and get really happy with how you turn out in the end. You and I both know that there are way too many people lying on their deathbed, looking back at their lives with regret. They just kept on putting out fires, never ended up living intentionally because they didn't feel like they had the mental space for it. So we're going to make sure that that does not happen to you. Okay? Before I go on, there are certain people that will get allergic reactions when I say the word journaling. And there are also people who think journaling is just writing down your thoughts. But there's more to it. Research shows that it can literally change the way you think. I personally tried to get out of survival mode for years with little to no results. But when I started journaling, things changed, sort of automatically. And this is how that works. When you write down your thoughts in a certain way, you are sending a clear signal to your brain about the kind of person you are choosing to be. The fact that you see the words on paper makes the identity more clear and believable to your brain than just a vague thought. Quick tip, this principle is true in general. Writing things down or even saying things out loud makes things more concrete to your brain and will drastically improve the odds that your brain will act upon it. It's like saying out loud, after I complete this task, I will sit down until my breath lowers. You will notice that your brain will prompt you to stick to the plan after you finish your task. Right, so back to writing down your thoughts. If you consistently describe the person you are choosing to be, aka journaling, your brain will use that information to update its knowledge about you and act accordingly to it. Cool, right? Because your behavior follows who you believe you are. Honestly, I have experienced this to be true in so many ways. A woman that I worked with, for example, wrote down what her day would look like if she would be the relaxed version of herself already. And we noticed an interesting theme in what she wrote down. She wrote, I take the time to take a shower, to eat, and to walk. I take the time to start the day intentionally with my family. And when I work, I take the time to sit with attention for my task and not do everything quickly in between other tasks. Do you notice a recurring theme too? Apparently, the relaxed version of this woman likes taking the time for things. She looks after herself and others. She is not reacting, but she is intentionally responding. After literally 6 weeks, I double-checked that in my client notes. That rushing, stressful feeling in her body is gone. She no longer forgot to eat and drink. She now takes the time to bake an egg for lunch and she sits down to read a magazine. This woman loved writing down her thoughts about her future self and did it faithfully every evening before she went to bed. Isn't that amazing? I get super excited from transformations like this. And let me tell you what writing down my thoughts did for me. I was always running and straining to finish my next task, and I would get angry when someone suggested that I take a rest before my task was done. Well, newsflash, that moment never came because I would always find new tasks. Well, that changed when I started writing down the following. I am the kind of person who balances effort with rest. Something shifted. My brain started reminding me like, hey, it would be nice to sit down for a bit. After all, I am the kind of person that likes to balance rest with effort, right? And you know what? I agreed with myself because who doesn't like to agree with themselves? Can I tell you the exact prompts that will change the way you look at yourself? This is the moment to grab pen and paper or your phone. Daily write down 5 sentences that start with, I am the kind of person who. You can finish the sentence in whatever way you feel like you resonate with. For example, you can say, I am the kind of person who listens to her body. I am the kind of person who likes to balance rest with effort. But there are 3 things to keep in mind here. 1, try to keep your sentences positive. It's better to say, I am the type of person who takes a short break after 2 hours of working than to say, I won't go 6 hours without a break anymore. Why? Your brain has no way of imagining what not going without a break looks like without first imagining you struggling through your day without a break. Also, you are focusing on what you don't want to do, which can make your brain experience it as a have to instead of a want to. And your brain sees not doing something you have to as something that leads to being punished in some way. It's not good. Point 2, keep your sentences focused on your identity instead of on a task. So it's better to write down, I am the kind of person who likes to give people the time to finish their sentences, than to write, I make sure I don't interrupt people. And you don't want to forget this, because tasks are things you do every now and then, right? But identity is what you do automatically. Okay, third and last thing. Start on a new page every day and try not to peek back at the previous page before you start. The reason this works more effectively is because your brain will get really creative this way in finding the words to describe the kind of person you want to be. Your brain learns by repetition and attention, not by repeating the same words over and over again on autopilot. Keeping your brain engaged helps that new relaxed identity of yours stick way faster. It's like learning a language. If you constantly repeat the same 5 sentences over and over again, you won't become fluent. But if you say the same things in many different ways, you will. All right, so I guess it's time now to write your relaxed self into existence. Remember, it only takes a few minutes every day to rewire your brain. You got this. And don't forget to subscribe if you really want to get out of survival mode. See you next time.